Richardson?
Who's that?
Yeah, right.
Congrats on getting your quarterback.
Thanks.
I was asking you guys what I just asked the last two. We've spent so much time talking about quarterback around here.
Yeah.
And so much time and effort. And look, who knows what will happen, right? But how much relief is it to finally feel like you have, I don't want to say hope, but like, you know, there's this promise, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's comforting, right? I think the comforting part about it is we put in a lot of work,
Yeah.
and to kind of see that come through, you know? A lot of people did a lot of different roles to kind of make this process, you know, be executed. And so when you kind of see it come to fruition, you can't help but feel good about it, and to know that, like, you know, we did it the right way and we exhausted everything we had to do.
When you're going through the process scouting Anthony, he obviously is the lack of experience, but what did you learn about the way that he learns and the desire that he has to learn, and how did that kind of balance with his lack of experience?
Yeah, so I think when you scout players, I mean, I think relationships are very important. You know, obviously there's a coaching change during the time when he was there, so I think you try to reach out to as many people as possible that have worked with him. I know people on both staffs, and so you just try to go A to Z, learn as much as you can about them, and understand, like, kind of the lineage of where they come from, you know, what they've experienced, because all that travels with them. I think when you do your homework on a guy like Anthony, you know, obviously everybody can see the physical qualities, but there's a lot of good work habits behind the guy, and I think the best is yet to come for him.
What is it about his, I guess, mental makeup when it comes to, he has so much confidence, and how much do you need that, you know, to believe that you can, you know, step into a franchise, not right away, obviously, but be eventually the guy who's looked at as, you know, the other team doesn't want to see, I guess.
Sure, yeah, I think, like, look, these are college kids. Like, let's be real here. These guys are young, and they're getting younger, right? And so, but at the same, I say that, but at the same time, like, I mean, I'm in the area, I'm down south, so, you know, I go to these programs or high-pressure programs. There's a lot of pressure placed on these guys at a really young age. Now, does that replicate what they see in the NFL? I don't know. But I'll say this, like, the SEC is the ultimate proving ground. It's the ultimate proving ground, and I think if you show that you have the ability to do it there, it's most likely going to translate up here, right? So,
When you talk about pressure, I mean, this spring has been a lot of pressure on a 20-year-old, just like everybody picking apart his game. Is there anything you learned about him in that process, just the way he handled the questions about everything from the lack of starts to the completion percentage to the background? Did anything stand out from that?
yeah, I think the guy's got a lot of poise. He's a young guy. I mean, look, none of us are perfect. We're all work in progress, right? Different ways, whether you're 41 like myself or 20 years old like him. But I think he's got a lot of poise, and I think he's very curious about a lot of things, and I'm excited to see, like, his growth and development here under Shane.
So he's only got the 13 starts, but he seems to do a couple things that are pretty advanced. Like, it seems like he can look off defenders out of passing lanes, and I think statistically he avoided pressure better than any quarterback. What can you attribute that to with just 13 starts?
You know, I don't know. People have instincts, right? They have a feel for the game. Like, you go out there, play in the yard, go out in the parking lot, go over there in the practice field. Some people just know how to play ball, you know? And, you know, I think it's God-given.
With Freeland, does he have a better, like, does one spot fit better than the other? Or is it like swing tackle, or kind of just see?
Yeah, you kind of hit it, swing tackle. You know, that's what kind of makes him intriguing, too. Kind of a unique guy. Yeah, absolutely. He can play two spots for you, and he's done it in college, too. He played right tackle for 2 years, and then he played left tackle the last 2 years. So, yeah, the exciting thing is, you know, he comes in, competes, sees what happens, and you feel good about the fact that the guy can play multiple spots and have versatility for you, and maybe get you out of a pinch, or, you know, whatever that might look like.
What was your big take? You had Scott, right?
And Scott, too, yeah.
What was your big takeaway on him? I mean, I guess special teams is probably where he makes his mark initially, but just long term, what do you think the defining?
Yeah, special teams for sure. You know, and he's been productive on special teams for them at Cal. He's played on it, and he's had production. Even this year, too, you know, some guys will play it early in their career and maybe not play it when they're juniors or seniors, but he's played special teams. He's had production. He's also played a lot of different roles for them in their defense. You know, he's played single high and play in the post. They spin him down. They play him in the box. So he's a guy that kind kind of like Freeland, like we think has versatility, can move around, and then, you know, he's gonna be a guy that you can trust on special teams.
With Mallory, was he just a guy that, I mean, you guys are, I don't want to say stacked at tight end, but you got a lot of players that could get on the field. And was Mallory just a guy that you didn't want to pass up on?
Yeah, like, so Will.
A little like young Dallas Clark, but let's not compare.
Yeah. Hey, they all got to come in and earn it, right? So, no, Will, like, I've been tracking him for a while. Kind of interesting guy. I'm really good friends with Todd Hartley, who's now at the University of Georgia. But he recruited this kid, so he kind of put me on to him early. His high school was, when I lived in Jacksonville, his high school was down the street from me, so Providence. And he played with Gus's son. Gus's son was his quarterback. So,
In high school?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, known about Will for a while. I remember when he came in as a true freshman in Miami, you got to practice, he's a tall, pretty-looking dude that can run, right? And then the family background, being a football family, and then, like, you just follow his career, and, like, he's just been a super consistent performer in a lot of different areas, So it's like one of those things where it's like, we had a lot of bites of the apple today. Let's take another bite, man. Let's just get as many good football players as we can on our team. Like, that's the idea, right? Acquire as much talent as you can. Get guys who are wired the right way, and Will certainly fits that for sure.
You think there's some more development there for him? Like, well, let me put it this way. Like you said, when he was, because I went to Miami watched him. Like, when he was a freshman.
I know you follow guys.
Right. So, like, I mean, there was always a lot of promise there. Do you think he met his ceiling, and how can you maybe speed up his development, do you think?
I thought he played well there. I think he checked off a lot of boxes. You know what I mean? I know this, like, when the head coach is excited about a guy, that makes you feel good as a scout, because that means you're seeing the same vision for the player, right?
What jumped out about Rush?
Unique physical qualities, like super long dude, can run, converted wideout, so he kind of got a little late start at the position, a little bit of a late bloomer that way. But, like, as you go back and you watch his career, he's just kind of continued to ascend. He's gotten better each year, and I definitely think the best is yet to come for this young man.
You mentioned like the pressure packed of being in the SEC, being down south.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony spent his entire life in Florida up until this point.
Mm-hmm.
How did you see him handle, or maybe go through the adversity of being a kid from more or less Gainesville, going to University of Florida, wearing number 15, having the ups and downs, and just I guess. I mean, also looking at it might not seem like a lot, but down there, I'm envisioning myself like, if I'm 18, 19, that would be a lot.
Yeah, I think he's a really grounded person. I think he's kind of handled it all in stride, we talked about the age, but, like, he just always, in my interaction, he's come across as pretty level-headed and mature for his age. It's a little bit of a bubble down there, right? And he's been put on a pedestal because he's a local legend in a lot of ways, so it's going to be kind of cool to see him get into a new environment and adapt, and we're going to do our best to give him every chance to succeed.
Kind of a general question, but you guys have found some really actual unique athletes in this year's draft. Has there been a rise in, maybe because 7-on-7 or just different body types coming through different positions, that there have been more legitimately unique athletes?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I think, like, I was thinking about this earlier, just me talking because I like to talk, but, like, scouting's changed. Like, a lot of the traditional things that you learned when you first came in the business, Mr. Pullian, like, teach you, like, hey, you want guys with this sort of, like, type of resume, and you look for all these things, and I think it's changed, like, between, like, COVID years and guys being able to play longer and being older, and then you got guys with what's that?
Did the games change a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a combination of both. So you're getting some players that are, like, older with a lot of experience, and you're getting some guys who are younger with less experience, and you're trying to find, like, some common things to kind of, like, the draft is all about, like, the players go in clumps, right, on a board, and then we try to figure out which ones fit for us out of those clumps. So I think when you look at the athletic testing and measurements and stuff, like, it's not the end-all, be-all, but it definitely helps. It's useful, and why not use it? Why would you be scared of something that's going to help you find the best athletes for your football team?
You got to think, too, they're playing, college football, they're playing a lot more space, too. So, pass happy, they need guys that can be athletes in space. I think that's a big part of it, too.